If you ever had trouble with that part, you always complain to them, hey, fix it, it's not working right.
In the last 3 to 4 weeks, we actually started getting things put together and started seeing things work.
It was really exciting because you're working on it so long, day after day, and it's finally doing what you want.
It was really exciting once we started putting things together and seeing that they actually did work together.
So it was really nice to see it all come together in the end. It can be worrying at times, and you finally get your component working, and then you're worried about, is it going to work with everyone else's and integrate properly?
At times it was quite stressful because, you're working on one thing and you don't really pay attention to what other people are doing. And then, just of course for maybe like 1 or 2 weeks, at the end of both semesters, just kind of putting it all together. And, it's quite impressive, I guess, to see what all of us could do. It was very stressful the last week, just trying to, all these little minor tweaks and everything, just very, very little sleep.
We put in some long hours. I think, I stayed here at least the last 4 or 5 nights till at least 2 o'clock in the morning every night. I know some people stayed later and some people had been doing that for like 2 weeks.
That was really horrible, actually. We spent a lot of late nights up here, just like 3 a.m. Sometimes we didn't even go to sleep, just 2 days straight of working.
We were fixing bugs, that's all we were doing. Everything was together and all the moving parts moved, and it was just ironing out kinks in the code, trying out as many possible situations as we could think of.
It was hectic, I guess, would be a good word. There's a lot of late nights. I know I didn't spend as much time as some of the other guys did, and I still felt like I was up here all the time.
Mostly the last week was just making sure we got back to the home base every time, because it didn't matter how many blocks you picked up. If you weren't able to get back to your home base, you didn't score any points.
I'd been up for who knows how many hours in the past week.
But in the end, it was worth it. We could sleep after the competition was over. So.
That morning we had gotten the robot, so it worked reliably on its own, collecting blocks. And that's what we needed it to do, and we're going to have a nice relaxing drive to Huntsville.
How do you feel?
Yes, I'm so excited I don't feel tired anymore.
Ryan, what do you think our chances of winning are?
I can't comment.
Chris,
Yeah.
how excited are you?
Some brownies with it. Very excited. Look at it.
Yeah, he's like giggling about it.
At that point, I was almost just, I want to get it over with. I know we have a great robot. If anyone beats us at this point, it was, they have a better robot.
I think it was like 5 of us stayed up all night the night before. There was nothing more we could do at that point. And I kind of come to that realization, I guess, right before, or during the last week before the competition.
Kind of anxious to see how the competition was going to go, and then also sort of relieved that it was pretty much over. We had at least one more day of testing and work, and then it was one way or the other, it was going to be over.
It was really exciting, relieving even to some point, you know. But I'd say just mostly exciting, you know. I had trouble sleeping the morning we were leaving for the competition because we got everything working, or what we thought was working, and I was just, you know, so excited I couldn't even sleep. I went without sleep until we got to Huntsville that night. We were actually one of the first robots to qualify that morning, I think, because we were there at about 8 in the morning, and we said, you know, we're ready to qualify, let's just get it over with.
Qualification day was kind of relaxed, I guess. We were just, you know, observing, spent, I guess, half our time, or my time anyway, just observing the other team's robots and just seeing other ways people went about solving the task.
To me, there were like two classes of robots at the competition. There were like the slow and the methodical robots that sort of crept about the field. They seemed to think, plan their next move, and sort of go try to get a block and collect it and sort of creep back to home base. And then there was the fast robots that were more built on brawn and less on brain. They seemed to just sort of cruise about the field with very little thought about collecting a block, just sort of try to run it over, or had some sensors to pick up a block, but not a lot of image processing or scan the field, look for a block, and try to go for that block. They just sort of went till they found something.
The fast robots were definitely the scariest for us.
I was worried about a couple of them, especially like Florida. They had a really fast robot, and it looked like, you know, they were going to win.
Georgia Tech had a really impressive robot, but we noticed as Friday night became early Saturday morning that they hadn't tested their whole system together. They only tested certain parts. So.
There were some robots I thought that could beat us in the playoff rounds because they were faster, and that's the strategy for the playoff rounds, is speed. But as far as the early rounds and picking up the highest point value blocks, I wasn't really worried at all.
There were some that could get blocks but not get back to your home base. There were some that were really fast but couldn't really get blocks or do anything. So by the end of Friday, we figured we would probably be in the top 8 because we hadn't seen 8 or 9 other robots that could consistently pick up 4 blocks and return back to their home base.
Hey guys, is your robot working well enough to do a trial run real quick? Because we need to show our judges, make sure our judges know how to judge.
We were the only team that was fully functional at that point, so they, you know, it wasn't a coin flip or anything. We were basically the only robot that could go out, pick up blocks, and return back home.
It caught me off guard at first because they came back in and picked up the robot and started taking over their house. I didn't understand what was happening.
We kind of had the idea that they picked us because ours was the only one that was consistently actually going through its paces and finishing a round.
It was kind of a sense that maybe ours is working better than most of the other robots at this point, so it gave me a little confidence in how well we were doing.
I'm sort of proud that our robot would be the one that would show the judges how a robot behaves on the field.
I was nervous because this was the first time Lunar was performing for the judges, and I know it didn't count for anything, but I think everybody in our team was just really hoping that it was going to work and it wasn't going to embarrass us.
All right, so I'm gonna act like the starting judge of Mississippi State. If you're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah,
you ready?
ready.
All right, I'm gonna say go.